So students, today I will be covering electronic banking for you. First of all, electronic banking is also called as virtual banking, online banking, internet banking, e-services, etc. What is electronic banking? When banking activities are carried on with the help of electronic medium, we call it as electronic banking. Okay. When funds are transferred from one bank account to another bank account without physical presence of cash and the bank, we can also call it as electronic banking. With the help of internet services, banking activities are conducted under electronic banking. Okay. One simple and probable questions which they may ask you in exams are, what are the advantages and disadvantages of electronic banking? Okay. Let us first list out the advantages. First advantage, students, it would be banking is conducted 24/7, 365 days through electronic banking. Okay, this is one of the advantage. Secondly, banking has become very convenient. It's come to the fingertips of the customers at any place, at any time, with any bank, with any person. They can carry on their banking transactions. This is heights of convenience. So this is also one of the advantages of electronic banking. Thirdly, very quickly transactions are done, very safely transactions are done. Transactions are done paper free. It is environment friendly. It saves the time of the customers, cost of the customers. Not only that, it also reduces the operational cost of the banks too. Okay, because without human resource and office space, they can render services to thousands and lakhs of the customers through electronic banking. Okay, since the operational cost reduces, there is all chances that the banks give higher rate of interest to those persons or to those customers who have deposited amounts in their bank, and may also charge lesser rate of interest for loans granted by them to the customers. Okay, electronic banking has also given us e-wallets, electronic wallets. We can know how much funds are there, how much we have dispersed, and how much is there for our future use. Okay, so e-wallets also is a boon of electronic banking. So all these we can tell are the advantages of banking. Banking facilities have become highly qualitative because of electronic banking. Okay. Now let us list out the disadvantages of electronic banking. First disadvantage, students, safety. Okay. See, because of technology, we have got electronic banking, and technology has given various firewalls for the banks to safeguard the data of the customers. But the same technology is also helping the hackers to hack the data. So always this safety is a big risk as far as electronic safety of data of the customers is a high risk for the banks with regarding to electronic banking. Secondly, there is no face-to-face or personal contact with regarding to electronic banking. If a customer in traditional banking wanted some queries, clarifications, he could meet the concerned person, get the information required, and go back home satisfied. But here, since it is not there, therefore getting clarifications on time up to your satisfaction is not possible. So that is always a lag in electronic banking. Next disadvantage, students, installing electronic banking is very costly affair. Till recently, even Indian bankers were not ready to accept electronic banking, because if electronic banking has to be installed, they have to install internet networks, they have to go for advanced hardwares, advanced softwares, servers, computers, etc. So this is a highly costly affair. This is a disadvantage. Not only that, if they have to render services uninterruptedly, they need skilled and trained personnel as support staff and back-end office staff. Okay, so finding such people, training them, maintaining them is also a big challenge for the banks with regarding to human resource. Okay, this electronic banking has made information highly transparent. So if a person wants to deposit in a bank, he will check the rates of various banks. And if he has to get loans also, he checks the rates at various banks, do comparative analysis, and then goes for deposit or getting loans. This has brought competition between the banks. Healthy competition is always a welcome, but sometimes it has also led to unhealthy competition, which is harmful for the society. Okay, all these you can tell as the disadvantages of internet banking, students. So we have covered what do you mean by internet banking, advantages and disadvantages. Under electronic banking, there is another concept called as electronic fund transfer, EFT. Okay, when funds are transferred from one account to another account through electronic medium, we call it as electronic fund transfer. This can be done through various modes. Okay, so here now I will be highlighting what are the various modes with the help of which a customer can do fund transfer. If we have to know this, along with this we have to know some more terminologies also. So we will look into those terminologies and then go for the modes of transfer of funds. Okay, firstly, students, what do you mean by MICR? You should know. I think you are all aware of it. You are all aware of the abbreviation of MICR. MICR means magnetic ink character recognition. Okay, see, this MICR you can find in all the checks in a form of a line. It is a 9-digit number. It's a 9-digit number or a 9-digit code. The first 3 numbers signifies the city code. Next 3 numbers signify the bank code, and the last 3 numbers signify the branch code. Okay, see, this MICR is mainly used during check clearance process. Okay, if the checks have to be cleared, the machine detects the MICR code, converts it into digital data, verifies its genuinity, and then clears the check. Okay, see, this MICR cannot be printed on a photocopied check. So regarding frauds, MICR will help to detect the fraudulent checks before clearing such checks. Okay, so MICR is mainly used to have a smooth and efficient process with regarding to clearing of checks. Next, IFSC, Indian Financial System Code. This is an unique identification number given by RBI to all the banks. It is a 11-digit number which is alphanumeric. That means there are alphabets as well as numerics involved in that 11-digit code. Okay, the first 4 digits will signify the name of the bank, and the other numbers will signify the code of the bank. Why is this IFS code required, or where is it used? Means it is used when there is electronic fund transfer done. Okay, whenever funds are transferred through one of the modes, through any of the modes of electronic fund transfer, first and foremost IFSC codes of the banks are verified. If it is genuine, only then fund transfer takes place. Okay, so IFSC is mainly used during fund transfer from one bank to another. Okay, next you should know about ECS, electronic clearing system. Electronic clearing system is used whenever bulk clearances or bulk transactions has to be undertaken by the banks. For example, if a company has got 500 shareholders and in the month of August the company has to credit dividends to all the 500 shareholders account, it would become difficult for the banker of the company to individually credit the amount to the account of individual shareholder. So what he does is, once for all, in bulk, he will credit the dividends to the respective shareholders account through ECS system. Okay, so ECS can be a credit, ECS can also be a debit. Now the example which I gave to you is ECS credit, because all the shareholders accounts have been credited with dividends once for all in bulk at once through ECS system. Okay. For example, if the bank wants to charge bank charges to 300 of its customers, then it will debit 300 customers account with the bank charges through ECS method. So this becomes an example of ECS debit. Okay, so whenever bulk transactions has to be undertaken, students, what is the system that is used? ECS system is used. Okay, then truncated check system. Truncated check system. This system is used by collecting banker. You all are aware who is a collecting banker. He is a banker who collects the check of the customers, sends it to the concerned banks, collects the amount from that banker and puts it into the account of the customer. It's a tedious process and a lot of checks come to the banker for collection and it is time consuming too. So this truncated check system helps the collecting banker. In what way does it help? Means, in this system, you capture the image of the check through an electronic medium, send it to the drawee banker, draw the amount from that check and put it to the account of the customer. By sending the image to the drawee, the funds are collected from the concerned customer's account and put it into your customer's account. So this saves the time of collection and also the cost of collection. Okay, so this system is highly beneficial to collecting banker during collection period. Okay, so this system is called as truncated check system. Then you have got core banking. What is core banking means? Under core banking system, all the branches of a particular bank is grouped into a common network in such a way that a customer can access the bank account in any of the branch of that particular bank and carry on his primary banking transactions. Okay, to facilitate this service, core banking is followed in banks. It has highly benefited fund transfers also. Okay, so a customer, any branch he can go, access his account and carry on his banking transactions. So all these are few of the important concepts you should know with regarding to electronic fund transfer. Now we will try to know what are the various modes of transferring funds. Okay, the first mode is called as NEFT, students. NEFT. What do you mean by NEFT? National Electronic Fund Transfer. National Electronic Fund Transfer. This is a mode through which you can transfer fund from one account to another account. A is got an account, B has also got an account in various banks of different branches. Okay, they have got accounts in different banks, in different branches and different accounts they have got. But A wants to transfer amount to B. So how he can transfer means he can transfer that amount through NEFT. Okay, how he can transfer means he can transfer the fund in working days between 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. except on second Saturdays and fourth Saturdays, Sundays and government holidays. All the other working days in working hours, he can transfer the fund from his account to another person's account, and there is no minimum or maximum amount fixed with regarding to NEFT transfer. Even 1 rupee can be transferred from A's account to B's account. Okay, and the processing fees is very nominal. The processing fees is very nominal, which is charged by the bank for NEFT transfers. Fine. Now, how this process is actually carried on means, if I want to transfer, if A wants to transfer his some amount to B, he has to collect B's bank details, the name of the bank of B, the branch of the bank of B, the bank account number, the account number of B, and IFSC code. This much details he has to collect from B, and A has to register the beneficiary's name in his account, enter the bank details, account details, and IFSC code. Once this much is entered, within one day itself or that day itself, the fund will be transferred from A's account to B's account. The amount also he has to enter, and that much amount on that day itself, it will be transferred from A's account to B's account. Okay, and this clearing is done through batch cycle system. Batch cycles we tell. See, for example, the NEFT starts from 8 o'clock. Hourly batch system, if they are maintaining 8 to 9, they will queue up all the applications which has come for NEFT transfer. They will make that as a batch, and at 9 o'clock, all that together will be cleared in one stretch. Okay, then again 9 to 10, all the applications which are queued up are made into a batch, and then at 10 o'clock the clearance takes place. So this is called batch cycle clearances, and this is how they follow in NEFT system. Okay, so all these students, you should know with regarding to NEFT transfer. Okay, next mode is RTGS. RTGS, real time gross settlement. Next mode through which you can transfer funds from one account to another account is called as RTGS system. Okay, see, RTGS is also very much similar to NEFT only. The only difference here is the minimum amount, if you have to transfer through RTGS, should not be less than 2 lakh rupees. There no ceiling for minimum as well as maximum in NEFT. But in RTGS, the system works on the same lines. But one major difference is here, the amount you should transfer should not be less than 2 lakh rupees. That is, about 2 lakh rupees only you can transfer through RTGS. Okay, maximum limit is not there, but some banks or most of the banks, they fix ceiling for per transaction. A normal ceiling would be 25 lakhs per transaction. Okay, maximum per transaction 25 lakhs. Here also the processing fees is nominal. It depends upon the bank rate, depends upon the bank and the amount you are transacting, along with GST you are supposed to pay to the banker. Okay, here the work timings would be from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And one advantage of RTGS students, instant transfer takes place. There I told you within one day, within the day you have gone for transfer, the fund will be transferred. But here instant transfer takes place. Here also you are supposed to register the beneficiary's name, his bank name, his bank account details, account number, and also IFSC code. You have to give all these details. With these details you have to also put the amount that you have to transfer, and once you go for RTGS, instantly the amount will be transferred to the other person's account. Okay, so all this you have to know with regarding to RTGS students. The third mode of transfer is IMPS. IMPS, that is immediate payment service. Immediate payment service. Okay. In immediate payment service, one of the biggest advantages, you can transfer the fund 24/7. Okay, even in midnight you want to transfer funds from one account to another account, you can do it through IMPS system. Okay, here the minimum is 0, that is minimum, there is no ceiling for minimum amount. You can start with 1 rupee, but maximum is 2 lakhs. You cannot transfer more than 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so that ceiling you have to keep in mind. And here also the rates depends upon the banks. The nominal charges that you have to pay depends on the banks, the amount you are transacting. Along with GST you are supposed to pay under IMPS system. If you are registering the beneficiary for the first time, here also students, you have to register the beneficiary for whose account you have to transfer the amount. You have to register. If you are registering him for the first time, students, you can transfer maximum 50,000. Ceiling is fixed 50,000 for the first time. Within 24 hours it will be transferred, and from there on, if you are continuously wanting to send amount to that person's account, you can carry forward. But for the first transaction alone, the ceiling is fixed for 50,000 and it takes 24 hours. After that it will be instant. Immediate payments can be done under immediate payment system. One more advantage here is, students, I told you there, what is the procedure? Beneficiary's name should be registered, bank account, bank number, account number, his IFSC code, and the amount has to be registered. Here also that method you can follow. Along with that, other two methods are there. Second method is through mobile number also you can transfer the funds. Okay, but you are supposed to get MMID number, which is called as mobile money identifier number. Once you get that number, then you can transfer the funds with the help of mobile number too. Okay, this is the second mode. Third mode is through Aadhaar number. If your Aadhaar number is connected to your bank account, through Aadhaar number details also, with the help of that details also, you can transfer fund from one account to another account. Here also, students, the nominal charges will be depend upon the bank, the amount you are transacting. Along with GST you are supposed to pay. Okay, so these are the different modes of fund transfer with the help of which electronic fund transfer can be done. Thank you.